We are introducing some new curriculums into our homeschool this fall semester, and I thought I'd take a minute to share what some of those are. While All About Spelling isn't new in our homeschool, this book, All About Homophones, is. It is for grades 1 through 8, so there's actually just a couple of pages for each grade level, focusing on some of the homophones that are introduced in All About Spelling or would kind of come in at those points, and just helping kids spend a little bit more time on what those are. And then in the back, there's some extra practices and worksheets as well to go over. We are going to be going back over some All About Spelling, just making sure that we've really got some of those things down. And then my fifth grader is going to be focusing a little bit more on some of these, making sure that he's got those down. I really want to tell you about this one, but I don't have a lot of information. My fifth grader is going to be doing an auto shop class along with his mom and dad, because we know nothing about vehicles and maintenance or anything like that. But I can't show you anything here because this is a brand new thing that is coming. It's from a teacher in the public schools who during 2020 saw the need for auto shop to be able to be taught at home. He didn't want to just leave his students with nothing to do, and so he's been working on developing this curriculum that would also be available for homeschoolers. So I have 2 big boxes, including a small engine in them, waiting for us to get started with this. It will be a video online course with some extra things to fill out and hands-on. Like, you get all the tools sent to you too. I can't wait to share more about it, but we are going to use it this fall semester, and then hopefully in the spring I will be able to show you more of what it actually looks like so that you can consider if you want it next year or not. Make sure that you're subscribed so that you don't miss when that video becomes available. For science this summer, we actually did Apologia Astronomy, and that's usually a year-long curriculum, but we crammed it in. So technically we're good for science this year. But I love learning and teaching my kids, so we're not just gonna call it off. We are going to continue using Nat Theo's podcast, but new to us this year, I am going to subscribe. And then along with that, then there are worksheets or papers, drawing things. I haven't actually done this yet, but I'm really excited because I really appreciate all the things that Erin Lynham is putting out. Those podcasts on Nat Theo are so good. Like, my mother-in-law and I were doing a puzzle and just listening to the one about the owl for fun. It was so good. So this is a science curriculum, and Bible is super included in it as well. I will definitely do a review in the future to let you know what we think, but that is new to us this year, just kind of diving in and making that part of our curriculum. If you follow me, you know that we love Gather Round, but I don't do it necessarily traditionally. I don't necessarily do the workbooks that come along with it. We are going to do the Entrepreneur unit. Gather Round, not all units are created the same. There are definitely some that we have not enjoyed and others that we have loved and can't wait to do again. So with Entrepreneur, I don't know exactly what to expect, but I'm really excited because this has to do with a lot of what our family is going through right now. I have recently started the Minnesota Homeschool Mom Retreats. If you live in Minnesota, make sure to check out the links down below to find out more information, or if you just want to come anyway and you don't live in Minnesota, you're welcome too. But that has really taken a lot of figuring out what we need to do legally and financially, and how do we make this happen. My twins have always talked about owning their own restaurant someday. It will be called Twin Turf. So for their birthday, we set up a whole restaurant setting for them and let them kind of experience that. Going through this lesson, we're going to be talking about both of our situations, like, what does that mean for what I'm trying to do? What does that mean for what they're trying to do? For some of my other kids, like, okay, if you are interested, what problems do you think need solved? What can you contribute to the world? How do you make a business plan? So I'm excited to be going through this lesson with the kids this fall. I just think it's really applicable and hands-on to what we're all really interested in at this phase. So probably in the morning, I will read the lesson and we'll talk about it, and then we'll just decide if there's extra things we want to do with that or not from that point on. Now, I am really blessed. My parents just moved here within the last year, like 6 months actually, and they are going to be taking the kids on Friday nights over to their house and doing some additional things, teaching them the skills that they have already. And then that allows me actually to film and kind of do some work and not be as distracted when my boys our home. So some of the things they're going to be doing there is Flipflop Spanish. I don't know much about this, but my mom and I were looking at different Spanish curriculums that she could use. She speaks Spanish. She grew up speaking Spanish quite a bit. And so where I have dropped the ball in the past, I'm really hopeful that she will be able to help with that. Currently, she's using some of what we used before with Simply Charlotte Mason languages, and she might use some of that and some of this. But this Flip-Flop Spanish is really interesting to me, and there is a video I'll link below of why it stuck out to me, and you can go check that one out because I probably won't have a review available for it for quite a while. My mom is also working on teaching the boys piano, which is super great, and so she'll probably come over here actually on like Mondays and do piano lessons, and the boys will practice all week, and maybe on Fridays they'll just do a little bit with her, but we'll see exactly how that all works out. I don't know. This is all new to us. My dad, so grandpa, when they're not with grandma doing piano or Spanish, they will probably be out in the garage with my dad working on some things. I really just want him to pass on some of those like home responsibility things, like cleaning out the gutters or how to just cut wood to make some of your own basic things, maybe a bookshelf or something, just kind of passing on some of those skills to them. He's also going to be doing story starters with them. Now, this is a curriculum that I've wanted to do with my boys. I've had it for over a year and a half and just haven't been able to work it in because I feel like I'm already reading so much to them, and this one just hasn't been a priority. But my dad told me great stories growing up at bedtime. I don't remember him actually reading a book to me. He would just make up stories at bedtime. So I'm really excited for him to start this one with them. What it is by Karen Andriola, who wrote Mother Culture. Yeah, Mother Culture. And such a good book. You should read that one for yourself. But she tells a story or has a story there, and right as it gets to the peak, like it just stops. It's like a cliffhanger, like and then the kids have to kind of finish writing and telling the story from there. So I'm really excited for them to get to do this with their grandpa. Along with all of these things, there are of course the things that are tried and true in our homeschool that we love and wouldn't give up, and you can go see that video here or here to see one of those videos that I mentioned from before.